Let's get some perspective from both sides of the aisle here tonight. Joining us, former North Dakota Senator Heidi Heitkamp, director of the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics and a CNBC contributor, along with Marc Short, former Chief of Staff to Vice President Mike Pence and a Meet the Press and CNBC contributor. It's great to see you both. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
Carl. We were talking just a moment ago about ground game, and I've always been curious, as a candidate on election night, how you process returns, how they meet your benchmarks from your team and in your own head, even.
Well, you always have those counties or those precincts that you're watching very closely because they indicate to you whether you're going to be turning out your vote the way you need to turn out your vote, and you're counting every one of these votes. I know people think that this is just, polls and then people vote, but this is very detailed, very data-driven. And so for me, I knew that if I did well in Fargo, for instance, that I could win an election. If I could carry some rural counties in the eastern part, which is how I won in 2012. I lost pretty handily in the western part of the state, so you know where you have to win and where you have the best chance of making up those deficits.
Is it obvious pretty early in the night, oh, we should have done X in an X part of the state, or we should have poured more resources into this bucket and not the other?
No, but what is obvious is, oh, I'm doing really well there. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Or, oh, they're turning out in bigger numbers than what we thought. If you talk to like Claire McCaskill and Joe Donnelly and me, and we all had a vote, you always have this number. If I get to this number, I'll get elected. In 2018, we all met our vote to win number, but the turnout was so high, and the turnout meant way more conservative than what we thought. And so you can get fooled by those numbers because you can meet your objective and still not win an election.
Marc, you've watched the Republican Party really shift, and you see that in these proposals by Donald Trump, including on things like no tax on tips, right, for workers. This is no tax on Social Security benefits. These are Republican Party proposals that are aimed at working class Americans. Do you think that kind of thinking is going to be enough in a state like Michigan today to put Donald Trump over the top?
I don't think so, Eamon. I think that some of the early numbers that you're seeing so far, I think is a little bit of a troubling trend. No doubt he won Indiana, but you see a county like Hamilton that he won by 17, 18 points in 2016, by 7 points in 2020, that Harris is winning tonight by a point or two. You look at Boone County, he won by 18 points, that Trump is now winning by 10 points. He is doing better in some of the really rural areas, but there's not as much of a population there. And I think the concern is how he would do in suburban America, and I think that's what you're seeing. To the populist policies, I do think it's worth going back to the conversation y'all had in your last segment. That's important because I just want to amend something Gary said. He's right that the tax law has the corporate rate permanent and the individual rate expires next year. But there is no reason that Congress couldn't trade off and instead raise corporate rate on corporate America. And I think to your question, Eamon, what you've seen is the populist appeal in Republicans is more Republicans now adopting an anti-corporate America attitude, whether or not it's because of woke policies in taking on, whether it's Target or Bud Light or others, Disney in Florida, and they want to have now a different posture toward corporate America, which I think is very troubling for the economy, and I think is a bigger potential threat if Republicans partner with Democrats and actually raise that corporate rate.
We've actually seen some Republicans come out and say, why would we give these corporates a big tax break? This is the woke, coastal elite.
And I think that the track record has been remarkable. The 5 million jobs that came back before COVID, enormous revenue that came back, repatriated revenue. I think it grew the economy significantly. And so I think seeing Republicans backtrack on that is a big warning sign.
And a critical part of this economic populism is trade policy.
Absolutely.
It's protectionist. And I'm not saying that the Democrats haven't been protectionist. That's kind of what Buy America is, right? Yep. Policies. But if you look at it, there is no longer a party in this country that is a free trade party. There's no longer a party that is really advocating a lot of kind of immigration and increasing the workforce kind of policies. And so this economic, everybody was shocked when people who were supporting Donald Trump said, if he's not in it, then I'm going to support Bernie Sanders. Guess what? They just represent two different sides of the populist coin. One's left-wing populism and the other one's right-wing populism.
Senator, do you think Joe Biden was pro-union enough? He's one of the most pro-union presidents we've had. In fact, his whole split with Elon Musk started because he invited car makers to the White House and didn't bring Tesla in because Tesla's not a union shop, right? I mean, Joe Biden, as pro-union as he was he pro-union enough to hold that vote today?
You know what? We started losing this vote with Reagan Republicans or Reagan Democrats. We say, what is a Reagan Democrat? It's called a Republican.
Yeah.
And a lot of that moved from kind of establishing a collective bargaining right to Second Amendment and more cultural issues. It certainly was true in North Dakota. And you saw this a kind of backlash against what they saw was elitist Democratic policy. And so I'm not sure that being pro-union or anti-union is really the question. I don't think they see that their bargaining rights are jeopardized and then they vote secondary issues.
I think that's really important. I want to echo what the senator said, is that I think there's some Republicans who are misreading that appeal and believing they need to adopt the legislation for minimum wage or adopt, protectionist trade policies. But I agree 100%. I think that the appeal for Union America coming over to Trump is more cultural. It's more the left going so woke that it's driven them over more than it is the economic policy.